Hi everyone! In this video, I'm going to spend the next 10 days reading very popular Booktok books. How I found these books was going to the Barnes & Noble website, searching hashtag Booktok, and then finding what books were the most popular in 2025. I did try to stick to genres that I enjoy personally because I want to have the best reading experience I can, and I want to test whether or not these books are popular for a reason and actually worth reading. That being said, the first book that I will be reading in this video is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This is a book about Connell and Marianne, who went to high school together. Connell was super popular, Marianne had no friends, but Marianne was super rich and Connell didn't have a lot of money. They met because the housekeeper of Marianne's house was Connell's mother, and they ended up really hitting it off, and then this story kind of explores the next, I don't know how many years, maybe 10, 20 years of their lives, and how them being high school lovers kind of sets the scene for the rest of their lives and when they run into each other in the future. This was the 5th most popular book that was bought in 2025 for the fiction genre at Barnes & Noble. So I am very excited to read this, and I want to see if it's worth the hype because I have highly anticipated this for myself that I will really like it. Hey guys, it's currently 8 in the morning and I have nothing going on today until like 4 o'clock. So I'm starting Normal People. I'm hoping to get, it's a really short book, so I'm hoping to get hopefully done with it, maybe like 70% of the way through. Okay, I've just sat here reading this book. I'm on page 31. I am absolutely flying through this. I can't put it down. I do want to say Sally Rooney doesn't use any quotation marks, which I didn't realize that she was one of the authors who did that, but she doesn't use any quotation marks in her books for dialogue, which is a little off-putting at first. Her writing style is definitely very different from anything I've ever read before, but that being said, I am really enjoying this and flying through it. The world is so immersive, and like the second I started reading, I was just in it, locked in, ready to roll. Like, it's flying by so fast, and I'm really, really enjoying this, even though I'm only on page 30. But I'm gonna sit here and read for the next like 3 hours, and I'll keep y'all posted. I have done exactly what I wanted to do today. I am now on page 177 of this book, which is 65% of the way through. It is 11:30, and I am thoroughly enjoying this so far. If I had to rate it right now, I wouldn't give it a 5-star because I do feel that it lacks some emotional depth. Like, I'm flying through the story and I'm really enjoying it, but I'm not super connected to the characters, and it's not like standing out to me out of all the other books I've read, but I would give it a 4 stars. I have really no other complaints other than I'm not deeply connected to the characters, but I also think you read a book this short, that's kind of what you're asking for. I just found out that Sally Rooney is Irish. Obviously, I knew Normal People was somewhere in England, but I just found out that Sally Rooney is Irish, and I have enjoyed every book by an Irish author that I've ever read. I think maybe Irish literature is just like better. Maybe United States focuses way too much on like tropes and TikTok, and Irish literature is truly just literature. I have 110 pages left. I'm gonna try to finish it today. I don't know if that's realistic, but we will see. It is now 10 p.m. I am 80% of the way done with this book, and I think that the character depth has gotten better. I think the longer I have spent with these characters, the more I care about them and relate to them, and this is honestly such a deep book. Like, they both go through so much stuff. I'm loving this book so much. I can't wait to finish it. I'm probably gonna finish it tomorrow because I am done reading for the day. I just took my melatonin and I'm gonna go to sleep, but I will see y'all tomorrow. hopefully finish this and hopefully start another book. Okay, it has been 2 days of me reading this book and I am now 98% of the way through. I only have 10 pages left and I just want to say I am absolutely loving this. Like, I don't know if y'all can see all my little tabs, but this is so good in the saddest way possible. But like, I take back everything I said about not connecting with the characters. I think that Sally Rooney wants you to be confused for the first 80% of the book and be like, what's going on? What's the purpose of all of this? Where is this going? And now everything is tying together and it is so beautiful. Like, this is such a beautiful story that is so realistic and sad, yet uplifting in a way, and kind of not relatable, because it's hard to relate to some of the things in here for me personally. I'm sure this is relatable for certain other people, but it is compassionate. You gain so much compassion towards these characters. I'm gonna finish this, but I just want to say at the 98% mark, I am loving this, okay? Loving it. Literally, I have like 10 pages left. It's like 10 p.m. right now, but I just finished Normal People and the ending frustrated me so much. Like, I understand what Sally Rooney was trying to do with the ending, but I think that was the worst possible way she could have ended this book. And when I was at the like 95, 98% mark, I was ready to give that book like a 5-star. Like, I was obsessed. And the ending just ruined it for me. And now I'm reflecting on the entire book. And I will have a review for y'all tomorrow. But just know, I'm very frustrated right now. So I need to think and gather my thoughts on the book as a whole, rather than just being pissed at the ending. So I need to think. But goodness, I'm mad. I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated, and I'm mad. It has officially been 4 days since I finished Normal People. 4 days was how long it took me to gather all of my thoughts. And honestly, in the last 4 days, I have not thought of this book at all. Before I jump into it, I will show you, I had a lot of highlights on this book, but I did not give this a very high rating. I ended up giving it 3 stars, so that's like a middle ground, but I just did not love this book as much as I wanted to, and I wrote a really, really long review on it. So instead of trying to tell you my thoughts just off the dome, I'm going to read you my review of it, because I compiled everything I thought of this book into this review. Now, before I read this review to you, I want to show you how long it is, okay? This 3 stars at the top is where it starts. That is such a long review for one book. Like, I never really write Goodreads reviews this long, so I really put my heart and soul into writing this review, so I hope that the Normal People lovers and the Normal People haters can understand where I'm coming from. As someone who thought it was mid, I literally just thought that this book was middle ground. I understand what Sally Rooney was trying to do with it. I just think it was a poor execution of what she was trying to do, but I appreciate the pacing. Anyways, let's just get into my review. I have a lot to say for such a short book. First, let's start with my reading experience. The first 30% of the story I loved and flew through. Though the writing style was a bit challenging to understand at first, I adapted quickly and could not put this book down. At the halfway mark, I began to feel that the story lacked depth and I was not as connected to the characters as I wished I was. At 75% of the way through, I found certain aspects and scenes of the book to be very unrealistic. Once I got to 95%, I felt very excited for the ending and was on the edge of my seat waiting to see how it wrapped up. Then I read to the ending, and "Are you freaking serious?" in all caps. I understand what Sally Rooney was trying to do with this conclusion, and perhaps my view on it will change after deep reflection, but I found the ending to be very immature and frustrating. Now let's discuss the actual book. I thoroughly enjoyed the fast pacing of this novel, and I found the writing style to be beautiful. Although I did not personally relate to the characters, I did feel a deep compassion and understanding for them. My main issue with this story is how emotionally distant it felt. It seemed as if I was observing the characters rather than experiencing life alongside them. While I admire Sally Rooney's writing style, I wish that this book contained more depth and resolution. I also found that the jumping of timeline and the way that every chapter starts many months after the previous one was a bit choppy and caused a lack of depth. Now I wrote my opinions on specific things that happened in the story. It's not major spoilers, but there are a little bit of spoilers in here, so if you don't want to see those, I will put a timestamp on the screen, but I'm just going to go through this part too. Another aspect I did not care for is when Connell and Marianne got into relationships outside of each other, they still proceeded to cheat on their partners and act like their partners did not exist. The breakups between them and their partners seemed to end abruptly with little explanation, and the characters seemed to not be impacted or have any emotions from this breakup. I also have many unanswered questions. Who was that man? I think his name was Lucas. That storyline with Lucas deepened my understanding of Marianne, but seemed to also go nowhere. A major event happened with him, but it was never discussed after a singular chapter. How did she meet this man? Who was he? Why was she with him? Next, we see that Marianne had a rough home life, but we never dive into that. Her home life is the reason that she feels the way she does, yet as a reader, we're never able to explore how bad her home life was. I suppose that is supposed to be up to the reader's interpretation. Lastly, I don't understand why Connell asking another girl to a dance in high school was a major argument in this book, since he made it clear to Marianne from the beginning that he did not want to publicly claim her. Anyways, that was my review. So to summarize all that, I gave this book 3 stars. I thought that the writing style was beautiful. I enjoyed the fast pacing. However, I felt that it lacked a lot of depth and it left so many questions unanswered. And I understand Sally Rooney wants to leave things up to the reader's interpretation. However, that doesn't mean that you can't just not finish your story. And the ending felt very unfinished, almost rushed in a way. And she was just kind of like, okay, throw this down on the paper. So I didn't appreciate that. Hi guys, I'm starting Recursion today. This book was like top charts for all like sci-fi books in 2025. And I loved Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. That is like one of my only 5-star reads of all time. So I'm hoping that I'll love this. So far, I'm only like 5% of the way in. I just started it. I'm literally on page 10. But the writing style is very similar to Dark Matter. So I think that I will really, really enjoy it. There's literally people staring at me filming this. But I think that I'll really, really enjoy it. This is a book about... Basically, there's this disease going around where people are getting false memories. And so they have memories of an entire life. Like, their entire lives. They have like 2 different lives in their brains. And they have the memories from both of them. And so these people are being led to like commit... I can't even say that word on here. But these people are getting into deep depressions because they are having these false memories of false lives and false children that they had and stuff, and then it's like not real, so they're getting really depressed. And then these scientists come in and are trying to find a solution, or they're trying to make like a chair to make people's memories come back, and you can go and like relive your memories if you sit in the chair, essentially. I'm so excited to see where this goes. I hope that I love it as much as Dark Matter. So yeah. Hi everyone. Outside of filming telling y'all that I was gonna start Recursion, I completely did not film yesterday. So here's my update on Recursion. I'm on page 130, which I think is about 30% of the way through. It looks like more to me, but Goodreads said it was only like 27 or 30% of the way through or something. Anyways, I am loving this book so much, and I think that Blake Crouch is an amazing author. I think you can't go wrong with Blake Crouch. It was a little confusing at first. There's a lot of topics in this book that I'm very new to, and that was the same with Dark Matter for me. Like, I hadn't heard of the theories that Crouch discusses, but I'm really enjoying it now. Now that I understand what's going on, I'm loving this book. I'm loving this book so much. I'm so excited to see where it's going to go because the plot has already thickened so much. I feel like I can't tell you all what's going on because it's already a spoiler and I'm only 25% of the way through. Also, this book is broken up into, I think it might be 5. I could be wrong about that. But it's broken up into different books. So like book 1, I'm on book 2 now. And the reason that it's broken up into these different books is because you're jumping around timelines a bunch. And so you're getting introduced to a bunch of different theories. So I looked it up, and basically every book, which like I said, I'm now on book 2, every book is like a deeper level of understanding into what's actually going on. I just can't wait to finish this. I have no school today, so I will be sat on this couch reading this book. I do have to go grab lunch with a friend, but when I get back from that, I'm coming straight back to this book. I would absolutely love to finish it today. I don't think that that's realistic, but I'm really enjoying this. I'm so excited about it. So excited to see where the story is going to take us, because right now I am like, what's going on? Like, what is happening? What is going to happen? I know something's gonna go wrong. I'm excited. I'm excited, and I would already recommend it. Okay, I just sat here and read all of book 2, which it was only like 70 pages, I want to say. But I read all of book 2, and when I tell you the last 30 pages, my jaw has been on the floor over and over and over. Mind you, I'm only like 40%. I mean, it looks like I'm halfway. I think I'm like 40% of the way done with this book. And it has already shocked me 20 times. Like, I have already had so many plot twists and like had to take a pause from reading to understand what's happening. Guys, Blake Crouch, I'm not gonna stop recommending him now. Now that my favorite book is already by him and he wrote another banger, I'm gonna start reading all of his books. Anyways, this is getting so good, and I want to cancel my plans so that I can sit here on this couch and read, but I can't do that. So I have to go get ready and go out to lunch, but I will be back after lunch to read this freaking book, y'all. I'm on page 173 of Recursion, and I feel like it's finally clicked in my brain why Blake Crouch's writing always resonates with me. When I'm reading books, my main complaints are usually that the book's too slow, that it lacks character depth, or that it's written like an elementary schooler should be reading it, but then they like throw smut in there. Like, those are my top 3 like book complaints that I can't stand. And Blake Crouch writes books that are so fast-paced, but you still get to connect with the characters on such a deep level, and you understand the characters so much, and you still have to like read into things, but it's not like overly complicated, and he doesn't like just brush over things and under-explain and hope that you fill in the gaps and are smart enough to figure it out. Like, you have to think intellectually, but he holds your hand and helps you to understand it. I just think Blake Crouch is the most beautiful author I have ever read. Also, the way that he writes women, especially women who are like have romantic interest in somebody. I've never read a novel by a man where he writes women so beautifully and perfectly. Because I feel like usually when a man is writing about a woman, especially like in a romance setting, not that this book is a romance, but like when a woman's like falling in love, a man's always gonna say like, oh, she thought that he was so sexy and she needed him all over her. And he encapsulates that, like, women can be, like, hopeless romantics. Like, oh, the way that he writes women and women's thoughts on things is so beautiful. Like, I love Blake Crouch, y'all. I'm just gonna read y'all a page from this where a woman is having these deep feelings for a man, but she can't tell him. But I'm gonna have to blank out a lot of parts on this page because there's so many spoilers. Like, this whole page is just full of spoilers. So I'm gonna blank it out, but I want y'all to, like, follow me, okay? She settles back down on the cushions, the couch springs creaking as she pulls the blanket to her neck. The memory of her and blah blah blah's goodbye in this very room, 4 months from now, is still a throbbing ache. She was floating blah 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 blah, and he leaned down and kissed her. There were tears in his eyes, and there were tears in hers too. Their future seemed so full of promise, and she was killing it. The blah 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 she left behind already knows if she's been successful. She resists the urge to wake the blah 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 of the present and tell him. It would only make tomorrow more difficult, throwing an emotional wrench into things. And what would she say? That there were sparks? Chemistry? It's best to keep to the plan. All that matters is that tomorrow goes well. She can't undo the damage her mind has wrought onto the world, but perhaps she can seal the wound and stanch the bleeding. She would simply like to be able to lie down at night in peace with a quiet mind. She tries to sleep knowing that she needs it more tonight than perhaps any other night of her life. So, of course, the sleep eludes her. Like, oh my gosh. That is so, like, woman. Like, yes, that is a woman that he's writing about. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but he, like, shows women's thoughts versus a man's thoughts as if he's been inside of a woman's brain before. And I think that that's so beautiful, guys. Read a book by Blake Crouch, please. Hi guys, it's the next day since I last saw you, and I currently have 10 pages left in Recursion. This book has been so good. I can't wait to finish it. I'm gonna go finish it right now, and I'll let y'all know my thoughts. I need to read y'all the last couple lines of this book before the epilogue because it's so beautiful, and it beautifully encapsulates the entire point of this story. I don't want to look back anymore. I'm ready to accept that my existence will sometimes contain pain. No more trying to escape, either through nostalgia or memories. They're both the same effing thing. Life without a cheat code isn't life. Our existence isn't something to be engineered or optimized for the avoidance of pain. That's what it is to be human. The beauty and the pain, each meaningless without one another. That's what it is to be human, beauty and pain, each meaningless without the other. That's a freaking bar. Like, I want to put that on my lock screen. Like, that is such a beautiful quote. Oh my gosh. Guys, go read this book. Go read this book. I need to finish it. I'm literally at the epilogue, but I need to finish the epilogue. And then I'll give y'all my final review. But, like, oh, Blake Crouch. Blake Crouch is such a good author. That's what this entire, like, reading vlog of this book is gonna consist of. Me being like, oh, go read Blake Crouch. But are you kidding me? That's what it is to be human, the beauty and the pain, each meaningless without one another. Oh my gosh. Okay, bye. I'm going to finish this. Okay, I have my final rating, and I will be giving this book a 4.5 stars. I think that it is such a beautiful story, and the theme in this book of the fact that humans would not be humans without pain and suffering because the pain is what makes the good times feel good is such an impactful yet simple idea. And I think that it's beautiful how this story developed that theme and how it explored it. And it really made me, like, appreciate the sadness, because without bad times, we wouldn't care about the good times. And I think that that theme in this story is so beautiful. I will say, because I read Dark Matter first, and that was like a 5-star, my favorite read ever, I kind of feel that I gave this book an unfair reading experience because I seemed to be comparing it to Dark Matter throughout the story. And so I do feel kind of bad about that. I don't know if I would have given this book a 5 stars had I not read Dark Matter first, but that was not my experience. So I'm going to be talking about my experience, and I was comparing it to Dark Matter. Now, the reason that this book kind of left less of an impact on me than Dark Matter, because in Dark Matter, I found the theories to be so realistic and like something that could potentially happen. Not that it would ever happen, but like it really explored like these themes of alternate universes and things that I could be like, okay, like maybe that makes sense and could happen and is feasible. Now in Recursion, it explores themes of like going back in time and our memories and what our memories like, how our memories correlate to our lives. And I found the whole like going back in time thing to just be less realistic. I think that that's why this book kind of fell off for me compared to Dark Matter, because Dark Matter I found was more realistic and could potentially happen in real life. Obviously they're both science fiction, but I did enjoy a science fiction where it's like, okay, this is kind of feasible and could potentially happen. This book, the stuff in it, I don't think could ever actually occur. That being said, I did really enjoy reading it. Let's get past my comparisons to Dark Matter because we know that that's what I did with this book. Now, all that being said, this book alone, I would give a 4.5 star. I think that it's a beautiful story and I love the themes that it explores. And I love how it makes you really think and focus and like ponder on what your life would look like if the science existed that does hypothetically in this book. And it's like, I just love Blake Crouch. That's basically all I have to say. I loved the pacing of the story. I loved how relatable the characters were. The only reason it kind of fell off for me is because I found the ideas that it explored to be so unrealistic. So that's my final review. I would definitely recommend this book to anyone who somewhat enjoys science fiction. I don't know if it's a great get into science fiction. I do feel that Dark Matter is a better introduction to sci-fi, but this is a great story if you're like new to sci-fi. Like this is my second sci-fi book ever, and I thought that it was amazing. So that's my review. 4.5 stars, pretty solid, amazing story. Hi guys, I ended up starting The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo yesterday, and this book has been all over Booktok for I think 4 years. It's been everywhere. It's everyone's like 5-star top rated book must read. This is about a woman named Evelyn Hugo who is a very famous celebrity, and she kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. And then when she's like 80 years old, she calls this girl named Monique. And she's like, Monique, I want you to write a book about the story of my life, and I want you to publish it once I'm dead so that everyone can know what actually happened in my life, because I'm so mysterious and have married 7 men. And so I want the whole world to know what happened in my life, but not until I'm dead. She calls Monique. Monique is like a nobody journalist who like has no traction or popularity. She's like, why the heck is this famous celebrity who everyone wants to know about calling me? And then the story unravels and you find out about Evelyn's life and about why she called Monique specifically. I'm only on page 44. I don't know how much of the book I'm in. I think I'm like 8% in. I'm liking it so far. It's okay. I'm liking that we're finally getting into the nitty-gritty and the fun part and the details. The first like 30 pages were really boring though. Like really boring. They're just about a journalist who like gets called to go somewhere. But I'm only 40 pages in. I would not say it's a boring book. I'm really enjoying where we're at right now. However, it's one of those books that starts out kind of slow. And I like books that throw me into the action in the beginning. Anyways, I'm gonna go read this book. I actually have to work in like 10 minutes, so I'm not gonna be getting through a lot of this today, but I did read 44 pages yesterday. I'm hoping tonight I'm able to read a lot more, but I'll check in later. Hey guys, February has been a hard month for me, life-wise and reading-wise. I haven't had like crazy stuff happen in my life, but I'm just burnt out. I've been working a lot and going to school obviously every day, and it's been exhausting, and trying to read among all of that has also been exhausting. That being said, I'm on page 133 of the 7 Husbands, and I kind of want to soft DNF it for the time being. It's just like, it's not even boring. It's not a boring book, but it's just like, I don't care. Personally, I don't care. Like, okay, you can see all my little like tabs where I've had quotes that I like, and I love how she like talks about being a strong and empowered woman. Other than that, I don't care about anything that's going on in this book. Cancel me. But like, maybe I'm just in a bad mood right now, but the thought of picking up this book upsets me, and I don't want to do it. So I think I'm gonna soft DNF this for a couple of days, just to be real with y'all. I'll keep it in this vlog, and I'm still going to try to finish it for this vlog. No promises though, because 300 more pages of this, and I just like, I don't care about the characters. I don't care about Evelyn. I don't care about Monique. I like don't care. And I don't know why that is. Hi, I know I was very negative in my last update. I read 40 more pages, and once again, like, it's okay. I don't think I'm gonna DNF it, but it's just okay to me. It's not like good or groundbreaking. I know what Taylor Jenkins Reid is trying to do. I understand it. I see it. And like, I understand the point. I think the premise of this book is great. However, I just don't know what the disconnect is. I just don't care about the characters right now. Like, I didn't care about them at the beginning. I didn't care about them when the plot twist happened, and now I still don't care. So that's my update. But I read 40 more pages. I don't think I'm gonna DNF it, but I also don't want to read it right now. But I'm gonna keep reading it. We're gonna push through, persevere. Hi guys, it is the next day since I last spoke to you. I have an update on the 7 Husbands. So I'm on page 275, which is like 65, maybe 70% of the way through. And I feel like I gave this book the best shot that I can. That being said, I'm not finishing it. I think that this is a great story. I think that it's beautifully written, and you can see and understand what's going on. You can see and understand why the characters feel the way that they do. And I think that those aspects of this book are beautiful. I also have so many like little tabs and quotes highlighted. Like, I think that this is a beautiful story, a beautiful reflection on womanhood. However, I do not care about the characters. I feel like I've gotten what I can from this book as far as like a reflection on womanhood and the love story that's in this book. Like, I feel like I have gotten the gist of it, and I still don't care. I've felt so disconnected from the characters throughout the entire story, and I don't think that it's a reflection on the writing, because I really do enjoy the writing. I like the Taylor Jenkins Reid's prose. I like how she sounds. I like the writing style. Something with the characters in this book just isn't clicking for me. I really don't care about Evelyn, and I really don't care about Evelyn's love, and I don't care about the girl who's journaling on Evelyn. Like, I just don't care. And I feel kind of sad that that's the case, and that I'm DNFing this when I'm so far in. But it's 2026, and I've been in a major reading slump because I keep reading things when I don't care, and then I just don't want to read, period. And I don't want that to happen to me, and I feel like I am forcing my way through every page of this book. So for that reason, I will be DNFing it. If I had to rate what I did read, I would give it a 3.5 star. I think that, like I said, beautiful story. and I enjoy every aspect of it. I just can't connect with the characters, and I already know how it's gonna end. I know the point of the story. So it's like, now that I see what's coming, I don't really care. I don't really care to read how it happens because I just don't. Like, I don't care. I don't care what happens to the characters, and I don't know why there's such a disconnect here, but there is for me, so I'm DNFing this book. That being said, I am going to end this video here. I haven't posted a video in 2 weeks, and I'm sorry for that. I've been trying to read these books, and they've been giving me a hard time, especially The Seven Husbands. I started this literally like a week and a half ago and could only get through 260 pages. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry that the ending's negative. I love you, and I'll catch you next time.